Over the past few months, extraordinary YouTuber neafcy has been going around and asking his favorite video producers about films. Now, I'm a huge movie fan slash nerd, and I'm kind of obsessed with that sort of thing, so I decided, through some gentle prodding of his, that I would answer the same questions he asked others, because I am that important. Let's do this. When I was 3 years old, my parents took me to see the re-release of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This was magical and amazing and started my love affair of Disney as well as traditional 2D animation. As a child, seeing the good and evil play out over that film kind of melts your brain. There are some scary things that happen in that film. Now, I haven't seen it in quite a few years, so I don't know exactly how well it holds up, but I do know that I still consider it one of my favorite films. As a man grown, I questioned why my parents ever took a 3-year-old to the movie theater. That just seems like a terrible idea. Absolutely, I think it's possible, and I've actually thought a lot about why in the last few years. For me, it comes down to rewatchability. There is a very big difference between best and favorite, so I take a very clear distinction between those two words. For me, my favorite films are those that I could watch at any time for a variety of different reasons, because they're really funny, because they're thrilling, because I see something new every time I watch it, and for me, there's only one film that does that better than anyone else: Jaws. Jaws is my favorite film of all time. It hasn't happened in a while, which is really weird because as I was growing up, I cried at everything. I teared up a bit at The Fault in Our Stars because who doesn't, you unfeeling cretins? I would climb into the world of The Princess Bride, but only if I got to hang out with Andre the Giant, Mandy Patinkin, and the bald guy whose name is Wallace Shawn. Why do I know these people's names? It would just be fun traveling around, rhyming with one another, but no way would I want to find myself in that forest with a giant rat creature. Or I could travel into the world of Mary Poppins, but that's just, I like umbrellas and people who do terrible British accents. James Bond, easy. I could go around wearing a suit and look good in it. I could have a quip for any situation. I would also be able to work with secret tech before anyone else could. I mean, I'd have to forego any semblance of a normal relationship, but that's a career, man. I mean, I'm sure there are other characters out there that are more selfless and morally good, but they don't get cool secret code names and can throw their hat across the room and have it land on a coat rack. I hold so many filmmakers in reverence, but I don't really know how much of that influence you actually see in the work I do or outside of the quotes I would do from their film in real life. I mean, Mel Brooks, I find, is one of the most hilarious people ever, but I'm not nearly as funny. Robert Altman, I think, is a genius, but I don't invite people to come onto the vlog and then have multiple conversations going on at one time. And then there's always the Spielbergian influence, which I think is influencing all of culture, really, but I don't have a father-son complex that you would really pick up on. I would say that after the documentary that I just made here a couple of weeks ago, that the works of Richard Linklater have become more and more influential in my work. Mostly just the concept of time that I'm becoming more and more fascinated with, and not really in style, just how we change or how people's perceptions grow over time. Time is fascinating, man. I tend to prefer not to rag on films that I don't like. I'll definitely answer the question if it's asked to me, but it's kind of like the downvote button on YouTube. I don't use it. I can tell you why I don't like a video if you ask me straight up, but normally I just don't like getting into that kind of mindset. That being said, there's only one film that I've ever stopped watching / walked out on. And that movie is Freddy Got Fingered. And it's not that I hate Tom Green, although I hate Tom Green in that movie. It is so self-indulgent of the main star. It is filled with cringeworthy humor. Every character is unlikable. I stopped watching after 30 minutes. I hate that film. What about you? Why don't you answer the questions down in the comments below? I'm going to leave a copy of them in the description, as well as a link to the playlist that neafcy created. My name is Kyle. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again next Thursday. Until then, the balcony is closed.